I cook things most of the times that remind me of experiences. And then when I get to cook those things, it takes me back to that experience. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could be a piece of white bread with mayonnaise. Well, but if there's a story behind it and there's a reason behind it, then even that can make you feel a certain way. And then you can take that to whoever you're sharing this with and tell them about that experience.
All right, so do you have any snacks for us?
I should have brought hummus, man.
Okay, Burt, Trudy's Underground Barbecue,
Yep.
Slab.
Slab.
These are two of the ventures associated with Burt Bakman,
Yep.
who is a fantastic barbecue chef, amongst cooking other things too. I mean, this guy grills and he cooks a lot of meat-centric. He has a hummus operation. In general, kind of like a beloved figure in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is beloved for me, so it's
a real estate agent, and somebody who you like to cook and grill for your friends and family, and it kind of grew from there.
It did. I've always cooked, and it was something that I was into. I went to some real estate conference and caught this Texas barbecue bug, came home, convinced my amazing wife that I'm going to get a smoker. Got a smoker, started to play around. And then it kind of served like a way for me to detach from that world that I was in, which I love, and kind of go on this sabbatical. I needed a break. I was burnt. And that sabbatical has been going on now for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And barbecue really has taken me all over the country, all over the world. I got to play and meet and hang out with some of the best chefs out there. Many people that you and I know that we admire, people that have had their cookbooks by my side of my bed forever, that are now, calling friends. It's amazing.
It is.
And all started with barbecue.
Yeah. I guess you kind of said a little bit about why barbecue, because I guess you were in Texas for a conference, you were saying, and how did you catch the bug? Like, what got you?
So it's a funny story. I say it often. I love it. So before this conference even started, I went to get some barbecue. I just went to a place, and then everybody that was part of this conference had this red bracelet. And I saw these guys are, sitting over there, and I saw that they had a bracelet. Where are you guys from? And we were talking. I'm eating some barbecue, and it was just something amazing about that experience. The music. It was the music, just the sounds of it, the smell in the air of like this post oak wood that was burning. There was something really spiritual. It's corny to say, but it's true. It was something really unique about that experience. And these people that I met that also had this bracelet, so understanding we're going to the same conference, they said, "Oh man, you really should try this place." I said, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go there." And I went there, and then
Can
the
you
next
say what place?
I don't remember what it was. I think it was like John Lewis or John Mueller. Sorry, not Lewis. Lewis is in South Carolina. Oh, they're all related, but John Mueller's truck. I went to see John Mueller, and there as well, there were some people with the red bracelet, and then I spoke with them. So what turned out to happen was that I kept moving around. I was picking up bits of information from each person with a red bracelet. So they were saying like, "Oh, my name is David. I'm from San Francisco. The conference is amazing. My favorite thing was so and so. This mother and daughter team with the foreclosures, whatever it was." And I would pick up these bits, from different people, and I ate my way through Austin, picking up bits of information, and I never made it to the conference itself. So at the end of the day, when the entire company would meet for dinner, I knew that they would think like, "Where's Burt? We haven't seen Burt." They flew me out to Austin. They put me up, very nice, So I would tell them like, "Man, that mother-daughter team from San Francisco with the foreclosures, right? And that guy David Gelb, with whatever." And they were like, "Oh, okay, Burt was at the conference, And I went on with that shtick. I did for 3 years. I kept going back to Texas, having all this barbecue, meeting all these great people. Never went into the conference itself, just going around eating barbecue. And that's how, that's how it started. It was amazing.
So wait, you not go to the conference?
I never went to the conference. They unless they see this, they've never known, because I would tell them things that happened in the conference.
Tell who? Wait, what are we talking about?
The people from our company, from the team,
What team?
this company that invited me, this real estate company that would invite me to this conference in Texas.
Okay.
They invited me. I never went into the conference
But
itself.
would they fly you down there?
They would fly me. They put me up. It was very nice.
Okay.
They were trying to heavily recruit me over there. And while I never made it to the conference itself, I would tell them different bits of information from the conference. So they never doubted it, whether I was there or not. There were a lot of people there, but I'm telling them things that happened at the event while picking it up from different people. And it was the best shtick. And I got into it. At the end, I joined them. I signed up with them. They made a lot of money. Everyone's happy. And I got to have barbecue.
And you got to learn barbecue, or did you have an idea that you might
No,
be in the food business?
no, not at all. Not at all. It was all so organic. Everything happened by chance. I just started, I just wanted to cook barbecue as much as I can and give it away. Cook it and give it away. And it kind of became a tool for me to see people, to reconnect with people, to just cook more barbecue. And then on one of the days, I dropped off some meats for a friend of mine, and they were with a hospitality group, and they said, "Listen, this is great. We want to open a barbecue restaurant. Would you open it with us?"
So you're doing what's called Trudy's Underground
Yeah,
Barbecue.
yeah.
And this is a you just have your smoker,
I have my smoker,
and you're inviting people over, and various
yeah,
people are showing up. Eventually, kind of some famous people start showing up.
yeah,
Some chefs.
yeah.
Tell me who is coming to Trudy's.
Chefs. It started by, it was just friends, and then the friends would bring friends, and then those friends would bring friends, and before you know it, my backyard was just full of complete strangers. I had people pulling up in limousines on the way to award shows, picking up barbecue. I had Tom Hanks and his son and grandkids, jumping in the backyard, eating barbecue. The huge studio heads that would get some picked up. A lot of big names, that would get it. Trudy's started at a certain time in Los Angeles. LA was at a different place. That type of an experience was very unique. Before that, I think the only one really that I'm aware of that was doing something similar to that was Wolf's Mouth, which we went to.
Yep.
How long ago? That's 2007,
Yep.
2006.
Yep. And that's like a private dinner,
So that was
invite dinner kind
And
of
remember,
thing.
we went to that, and you're standing outside of a warehouse with a bottle of wine. You have no idea where you are. Are you going to get robbed? Who knows so it was a very similar experience with Trudy's Underground Barbecue. And people loved it. It was unique for them. They loved it. It was exciting. They came, they got some barbecue. Nobody was killed. It was great. People met.
Nobody was killed at Wolf's Mouth either.
Yeah.
Craig. So don't worry.
Craig.
If you're watching, I hope you are watching. Craig Thornton, great chef,
incredible
legend chef, renegade chef.
Renegade indeed. I just spoke with him yesterday. He's great.
What were you cooking at Trudy's?
Trudy's was the focus at Trudy's was the Trinity, which is the pulled pork, brisket, and ribs. Yeah, sometimes they say with sausage, but I was focusing on those things. And I was doing all these things very worried that I was going to get in trouble, because while I was doing this about 10 years ago, while I was doing this, I was not an American citizen. So I was worried that I was going to get kicked out of this country over brisket. So it was stressful, and I had to go through a whole vetting process through Instagram. When somebody would reach out, I would have to look them up and see if they look like, did they look cool?
Right. So it's to see if they were cool, if they were going to be okay for the invite.
Yeah. If somebody would reach out to me and didn't have a photo, didn't have any posts, and did not have any color in their in their profile,
right?
I would skip it.
And what were you worried about?
I was worried about, health department coming. I was worried about the state. I have no idea.
Right, because this is a renegade. This is
Yeah.
we call it underground.
Selling food. And actually, not even really selling food. It was all a donation thing, So people were making donations, and so it was great because I wasn't doing it for the money. I was always covering my costs, make a few bucks, whatever, but it wasn't a money thing. And then at the end, I did get my citizenship. And the guy who swore me in, who gave me my citizenship, the federal judge, turned out to be somebody that used to come to my backyard. So he swore me in. I told him about what's happening, and he took that date of my swearing in to be the judge to officiate the whole thing. And he hands me my paperwork right before, at the end of the ceremony. He comes to hand me my paperwork, and he like pulls it away. He's like, "You gonna have ribs this weekend?" And I was like, "For you, anytime." And he gave me the paperwork. We hugged. It was incredible. And still till today, I I get him turkey. I get him like barbecue every Thanksgiving. I give him as a thanks. Like, it's great. It was so funny.
What are you doing? Why Trudy, first of all? Who is Trudy?
Trudy is the name of my friend's mom. A friend of mine, Stu, from Toronto, moved here, actor kid, been in a lot of things. His mom would come visit from Toronto, and she would make her brisket. And I was making my brisket, and it became a whole like group chat thing, like, who's making better brisket, Burt or Trudy, Burt or Trudy? And it kind of just came up. The name came together. It has nice letters, and it just, I still, till today, 10 years later, I still have once in a while, I'll see somebody somewhere, they call me Trudy. I've never corrected them.
They think your name. You think you
They,
are.
they think my name is Trudy.
I mean, that would be
Yeah,
logical.
yeah,
Yeah.
they still think. But it's a lovely woman in Canada, in Toronto, Canada, Trudy Stone. And yeah, and I actually had to have her give me this release that I can use the name.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
legit.
Super cool. You got so legit.
So funny.
From the underground to the
Legit.
legitness.
Now it's legit. But man, all of a sudden I had, again, chefs I admire.
Yeah. Like who had chefs?
I mean, it was, at the time, it was like John and Vinny all of a sudden and pop walking down the driveway. Eric Greenspan coming down the driveway. Guy Fieri like pulling up. Nancy Silverton.
The queen.
The queen, the hail to the queen, absolutely. So I remember getting her ribs the first time and talking to her about brisket. It was incredible.
Why and how were you making such good barbecue? Like what were they what were you doing? Why were they coming?
You always are learning. You're learning, you're practicing, you're trying to be better always, and again, there wasn't a lot of options at the time in LA. I was using, I loved it. I mean, I loved making it. I still love it. I still love making it. And it's just, I think it was a timing thing. It's not that it's the best or not. It's just, I think people felt a certain way when they would come to the backyard. I would get to have a conversation with them, talk to them, meet the different kinds of people. Very similar to the way things are in the real estate industry. Let's say, you're meeting different people from all over the place, and that you like different sports teams, you vote differently, you have all these different differences, but you have this idea of barbecue and the communal idea of barbecue in common with them. So no matter where they're from, and people felt a certain way coming to the backyard, and they would leave feeling a certain way. It's like that Maya Angelou quote about, people, you can say different things, but people remember how you make them feel. I'm butchering the line, but it's all about how people feel. And I learned that, and I saw that. I saw that with someone like Wolfgang Puck, who goes and greets every table at every restaurant of his. He's always out there shaking hands, kissing babies, and making people feel a certain way. There's something that I saw. The guys from Howlin' Ray's. It was just a fried chicken place. But it was a fried chicken place, fried chicken, which was great, amazing, Nashville hot chicken, great sandwich. But they made people feel a certain way. You were standing in line, especially before COVID, people were in line 2, 3, 4 hours for a chicken sandwich. And, they felt seen. They get to the register. First of all, they're standing in line for all that time with like-minded people, there was a community, people made friends, and they get to the front, they see them, they touch them like on the shoulder, like just smallest things. It's very, you learn a lot from it.
Yeah. And you kind of learned it. So you're self-taught.
Yes.
You ate a lot. I mean, I
I
remember
did.
always going out, like, where are we going to eat? That's what you're always questioning, like, where are we going to eat?
Always.
I remember going down to the original Bloodso's
Amazing. Remember that?
in Compton, or was it Inglewood? Or
That was the only barbecue that there was at the time. You remember? And we rolled down the windows, bumping NWA until a car pulled up next to us. We rolled it up so quick. We're like, oh my God.
yeah, just like in The Office, like the
like
Michael or
the
not,
boys in the hood. Roll it up there.
I remember Cookie saying Cookie was our I guess she was running the register at the Bloodso's, and she said that she would stand outside every night. She stands outside the smoker with a AK-47 was what she said.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. It was amazing.
And that was like an incredible beef rib that they had there.
And I've become friendly since then with Kevin Bludso. I consider him a king, one of the, and with many others, I admire them. I got to compete against him. We've done some events. And it's great to see what he's doing. He's in Australia. He's expanding. He's opening some places. Got some books. James Beard, I think he got for his book.
Yeah. Why would you get good at, like, it's not an easy thing to make a good brisket. Like,
it's not.
What about you do you think
it's
made
not
that possible?
it's you develop a relationship with your art, whether you're painting, whether you're writing music, whether you're editing, create, whatever it is, you develop a relationship with it. And I have a relationship with the fire, with the smoke, with the brisket. No two are alike. Brisket, there are two briskets in an animal. Some people can tell you when they eat it whether it's a right side or a left side brisket. Some people can look at the brisket in a photo and tell you the temperature of it, of the temperature of the brisket at the time of the photo. So there's so many factors, there's so many things that come into place. It's like an ongoing equation where the numbers just keep changing, and it's with practice. It's 10,000 hours. It's the 10,000 hours theory.
Meaning that once you've done 10,000 hours, then it's like it. That's like
you know it, but you never know everything. It's never perfect. Like BJ Novak, I was listening to it. He was talking about the same thing, and which I agreed so much. He was talking about how when you think you know everything, you really don't, and it's at the end you don't know everything. There's never perfect. It's never perfect of anything, and you're always learning. You're always learning something new. And it's amazing. I mean, look, I got to do this with all these great chefs, and you saw that many of these great chefs are great for a reason. None of them stood around and criticized what I was doing. They were watching to see maybe they could learn something from this guy, from whoever. I did an event with Thomas Keller. I was going around, I'm handing out slices of this beautiful beef rib. It came out gorgeous. And listen, and I cut it, I sliced it right. I gave the best pieces out. I give him a piece. He eats it. He looks at me. He's like, not bad for a real estate agent. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how does he know that? How does he know that? It was a highlight of my life. I wish I had the metas on or something that I had that on video. It was incredible. Not bad for a real estate agent.
I love that. I think chefs love that you're kind of like this unlikely story. I remember going to the Bel Air barbecue, the Bel Air hotel, and like Wolfgang Puck is like, I want the brisket. He comes in to like taste everything.
Amazing.
And he liked it. I mean,
he
awesome.
loved it.
Of course, because it's something
he learns. And you can pick up something so small. You never know where it can be. You can pick something up at the ramen store, at the park with your kids, somewhere. You can smell something, you can hear something, and that little something can put it over the edge of whatever the craft it is whatever it is that you're working, whatever your art is. And it's everywhere. You just have to be really present and open and get it.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. And now today, we can enjoy your school of brisket, ribs. You do chicken?
We do chicken.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do
we do
chicken.
chicken.
You got
Yeah,
the sides and the fixins at Slab.
Slab
Slab.
barbecue. That's right, Slab. So, at one point we had 3 locations. Now we have 1 location. There's conversation about going into many locations
Mm-hmm.
as a partnership with Westfield, the shopping centers.
Oh boy.
So, but it's a different experience. It's for kind of like barbecue on the go. It's not like craft barbecue like the experience that you have in Texas and some other places where you see the smokers and somebody with a banjo is playing. It's different. It's different, but I see more and more of it in LA and in California. It's amazing to see it. I love it. I
Yeah, like barbecue is growing in popularity.
absolutely.
And I think that the Trudy's was kind of an inflection point
Yeah.
where it's like, because barbecue was never considered like a California like health food, you know, I think that you guys kind of changed that, and
Yeah.
Bloodzo, was able to expand, and
Absolutely.
the
And more and more, yeah, absolutely. More and more people are aware of it. Austin and LA are like sister cities.
yeah,
And man, so many people that would go to Austin and Texas for South by Southwest and all these other festivals. They obviously, anyone who goes to Texas, that's their first thing they're looking to do is to go have barbecue. And then it's always a part of the conversation. Like, oh, why don't we have this in LA? Why don't we have this in
yeah,
LA?
and then also the debate about what barbecue is the best, or which one do
Absolutely.
you
And
like?
that's a whole other thing because you have West Texas, you have East Texas, you have Central Texas, which is what we do, and you have the Carolinas, you have, in Kansas City, and all over the world. All over the world. I grew up with a certain kind of barbecue, where I was born in South Africa. They have another kind of barbecue. My wife's from Argentina. That's another kind of barbecue.
Mhm.
Everywhere, people have a relationship with fire. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that's like a basic thing about humanity is like gathering around the fire. We eat like whatever the kill is, or we kill the mammoth.
Yeah.
Going, if we want to go way back,
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
first barbecue.
It's
is
one of
like the
my
woolly
earliest
mammoth
it's
pit
one of my
barbecue.
earliest memories that I have of food is the smell of a barbecue, like a cheap like charcoal, like a one of those like quick light charcoal, like cheap that I would smell that, and my dad like fanning it, and it's really is one of the first things that I remember. And
And this is in South Africa.
this is in yeah, this is actually when I was a kid growing up in Israel.
Okay, so you're born in South Africa.
I was born in South Africa.
Then
Yeah.
lived in Israel.
Then lived in Israel a short period. My parents were just moving around, migrated from Russia to Israel. I was born in South Africa, but then we left Israel. I was very young. I
Yep.
came here when I was 13, and I've been
Mhm.
here working on my English all these years.
I think you're good to keep the accent. It's
I just
part
can't
of,
get.
the persona.
I try to get rid of it, but
You're just so good at it.
I like it.
I like it too. And I think that's a big part of like the draw is like it's like a great hang. You kind of bring that community,
The
the feeling of
best.
the hangout.
The best. People hang out, and then you have a lot of people, especially during a cook and like when you're doing true barbecue like this with brisket and things that take a long time. You'll have a bunch of people, you have music, people are drinking. And then slowly they start leaving. And before you know it, it's just you and the fire. And that's all you hear is you and the fire. There's no more airplanes flying over. There's no more birds. It just gets quieter and quieter. It's you and the fire. And it's amazing. You hear the crackling of it. Then you have to look for the smoke to see what the smoke looks like, to see what the heat, the radiation of the heat from the smoker is like. There's all these things again that you have to put together for you to decide, like, okay, the next log of wood I'm going to place this way, I'm going to place that way, I need this kind of airflow, I need the wood that's this dry or this wet, this thick or not. All these things, depends what you need. So, and it's ongoing. Barbecue, I say often, is an endurance sport. Without a doubt, an endurance sport. You can get so tired, and that, hey, you can go to sleep, but you have a smoker full of, 400 or 500 pounds of meat that you need to take through, that you need to wrap, you need to spray, you need to get ready, you need to put it away to rest. You can't lose track of which one is which if you're starting to rotate. It's a lot.
Yeah, and
Oof.
it's like a science.
It is. It is. It is. It's a
It's
dance. It's a
chemistry,
dance.
and
It's
it's
a, it,
more like baking. Is it like baking it or
I
no?
mean, listen, baking. But the thing is, when you're baking, everything is exact. You use it's the same flour, it's the same butter, it's the same sugar. Here, every brisket will look different. So if four of us will take four different briskets, we'll follow the exact recipes. It'll be different. It'll be different. So it's tough to give an exact recipe for something like that, because the recipe written for this brisket may not be accurate for this brisket that the next guy's getting. And that comes to the size, the quality of meat, the grading of the meat, grass-fed or not, the country of origin, all these things, the temperature outside, has it rained, is it going to rain? So many things come into place. And you can have great brisket, you can cook some barbecue, it can come out great. But if you're chasing perfection, that's what can keep you up at night, because most people, and especially all these Facebook warriors and all these guys with the barbecue, you can cook a great brisket that can get you to a 8.5 to a 9, and it can be great. Everybody will love it. Your neighborhood will love it. Fantastic. No problem. But if you're chasing the perfection, that's gonna probably keep you up for the rest of your life, and that's a small difference. It's the same kind of obsession that Evan Fonke has with pasta. It's the same kind of obsession that other people have with their ingredients. You have with barbecue.
Yeah, and that's where the 10,000 hours comes in. So you can see the piece of meat and you know what
Yeah.
it needs.
Yes, absolutely. And we send each other, there's a circle of us, amazing barbecue guys, that are now, I consider, like we're like brothers, amazing guys. Then we'll send each other photos of either our own, not to ridicule anybody, but of our own or somebody else's. And we grade it just like they do with museums. A piece of art, a work of art goes to a museum, they'll circle it and they'll mark different things about it. We do the same thing with the brisket. Somebody will think, oh, this is amazing, I nailed it. Nailed it means that you think it's a 10,
Mm-hmm.
or close to it. And then we're like, okay, well, the trimming wasn't perfect, the coloring is not perfect, the bark is not perfect, the resting. Basically, it talks to you. It tells you. It tells you a lot.
What's the chat called?
The chat is called starving. Everybody, and we talk about these things, and Texas Monthly, which is considered to be like the magazine for barbecue. Every 4 years they come out with a list of the best barbecue in Texas, the top 50 places. This guy Daniel Vaughn writes it. He wrote about our group chat, which is amazing. Kind of like having Anna Wintour write about your clothes that you and your group chat are messing around with. It was a big deal. And wrote about this theory that we have about the second slice of brisket. When you going around to different places, they'll give you the second slice, and the second slice of brisket always looks the best. And to tell really a good brisket is you look at the fourth slice, and there's a difference. And that's what I'm talking about. The last 10%. Many people will not know the difference, but a second slice of brisket and a fourth slice of brisket are different. And also, like, a brisket is like a puzzle, we can always put it back together. And once you look at a cross section, a slice of a brisket, it tells you so much. It tells you a lot. That's what keeps me up at night sometimes.
Burt dreams of brisket. So, and the deeper into the brisket you go, that's the sign of greatness. If consistency throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And how long does it take to do a good brisket or your brisket?
To cook one?
Yeah. How long does it take you? How long do you do it for?
It will take you about 13 or so, 13, 14 hours to cook, and about another 13, 14 hours to rest. And you can tell how well rested the brisket was once they cut into it. Once you see a slice and they cut it open, you can see how well it rested. It'll tell you a lot if they rested it, if they wrapped it, if and what they did. You can learn a lot from it. That comes with practice.
Yes, indeed. You have to love food. You have to love to eat.
You gotta love food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is there a meal, or like growing up as like a kid in Israel, like and there's a lot of really good food
Oh
there.
yeah, incredible.
What are your earliest kind of food memories? And is there like something you ate there that made you passionate about eating?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate what's going on over there in that area. Israel is an incredible place, and the food over there is amazing. There's so many cultures, and it's so diverse over there. So much food, different foods over there. Um, you know, it's like my last meal is a place that comes from Israel, and it's a shawarma place. It's a shawarma place that I used to go to after playing soccer after school. That my mom would pick me up, and we would go and have this shawarma in Haifa. This place called Chazan Shawarma, and it's simple, but it's so good. It was Arab owned, they stand there, they slice it. The guys, I used to like just stand there admiring these guys slicing these things, monster skewers, like monster, like
And what are they
spit.
cooking? Just like describe it for
Just so it's just like a shawarma, like a spit, with about, let's say there's two spits with about 400 pounds of meat on each one. So they're going through 800 pounds a day in pitas of shawarma, and they would cut it all manually. No machines at the time, no machines. But with this long blade, they would slice it, and their gold bracelets were like flailing, and everybody was just getting pitas everywhere. They were getting shawarmas everywhere, and you would pay at the end. And I was always thinking, how do they know who paid, who didn't pay? And I'm sure those guys knew, and that's the bite, something like that.
how
Oh,
old were you when you first ate that?
I must have been, for my oldest, I must have been 5, 6. But
Mm.
my oldest memories from it must have been 8, 9. It's cheap street food, It was amazing, So the food was amazing. That and falafel, and they have other things there, but that, and also, like the barbecue I was talking about earlier that my dad used to cook. Uh, and I don't think it was really any good necessarily. I don't know, but the smell of it was amazing, and just family getting together. One time I got in trouble for something. Many times I got in trouble for something, but one in particular, I got in trouble for something. My parents grounded me. I was grounded, but they had a barbecue to go to. So what did they do? They couldn't leave me home alone. They took me with them and left me in the car. I was left in the car, and all I could do is just smell the whiffs coming from the window. Didn't let me leave. I still remember that. Left me in the car. They're all in the barbecue over there eating
Wait, how
barbecue.
old were you?
I mean, it's before I came. I must have been 10, 11.
10, 11, and like your sisters, and
Yeah, they were at the party.
they were at the
They were at
party,
the
and you're
party.
sitting there. And did they bring any back to the car for
They,
you?
I gotta assume they did. I don't remember if they did or
That
not,
would
but I'm
be that would
assuming.
be pretty
I
messed up.
gotta
Let's just say
assume.
that they brought it back and it was
Oh my
nice.
God, stranded in the car. Can you
That's,
imagine? And I'm
I mean, I
doing this
can't.
now.
No, honestly, I
Child
can't even
Protection
imagine
Services
that.
being so quick.
That is
It's
CPS.
CPS, that's a CPS activity. Oh my God, is it too late to call him on that?
I mean, no, but maybe that like did something to your brain.
I
Like,
just, smell. You smell things. Smell takes you. It's time travel.
yeah.
Barbecue is time travel. So many other things. And I travel to that time often. I think of that memory fondly. It's not like it's
It's not like
funny.
a trauma to you,
No,
maybe at the
no,
time, but not now. It's like that's
no,
part of who I am, right?
no. But others have the same thing. Smell takes you places.
It sure does. How old were you when you came to the States?
13. I was 13. I wanted to play soccer, but I came here. All of a sudden, I saw girls with blonde hair. We didn't have that. Red cars, Pepsi. First thing I ever bought in America was can of Pepsi. And so I was distracted. Then started having burgers, pizza, and all these things. So food was always a big part, of everything. A big part. I have, family in Europe, family over there, family in South Africa, and everybody has their own relationship with it. And you
Mhm.
pick up a little bit from everything. And in a way, you combine things. You make a little hodgepodge of things, and um, try to combine it. And it's really a nice way to do it. For people to just eat together. And like I said, when I was doing the barbecue, I know that these people that were here, were present in the backyard, in other instances would not get along, would not be so friendly to each other, would not be this open. But they focus, instead of their differences, they're focused on what they have in common.
Yeah.
And Bourdain said it's, barbecue isn't the, world peace, but it's the road to world peace. Yeah, I'm just butchering stuff.
Yeah, but it brings people together.
Absolutely.
And it unifies, because we're all hungry. Like, it shows that we're all just human,
It really is, man. And it sucks to see all these wars going on all around the world, all these different things. And at the end of the day, people have kids, they have families, they have friends, they need to eat. They have so much in common with everybody. If they can put religion aside, if they can put some things aside, I don't know.
Yeah.
All I can do is just keep doing what I'm doing, be nice to everybody, but it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Wolfgang Puck sat in that chair and said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You bring people around a table, realize we're not all that different.
But he said it in a much better accent.
I know, I like your accent.
He said it. Wolfgang Puck, man, that guy is really king.
Yeah,
king.
He is king.
How is he at all of his properties at the same time? At the same, I see.
It is amazing, but what he does, because I did the Wolfgang documentary, and at least in
very
LA,
good, by the way, very good one.
Thank you. At night, he suits up and he goes restaurant to restaurant to restaurant. And his whole thing about longevity is like, they want to feel that the chef cares, and he's there, and he is. And first thing he does, he goes into the kitchen, he starts eating everything. He wants to taste everything. He gives a couple notes here and there. And of course, the people who work for him have been there for some of them 20, 30 years. I mean,
Byron's got big shoes to fill.
Oh boy, yeah. But he's doing great, and he has the right energy for it, because he's doing the same thing. Like, you're in the kitchen, but then you're with the people out there, and making people feel welcome to your house and everything.
It's amazing. Those are good times.
Yeah. How does it feel to be validated by him? I mean, he wants you at his events. Like, then when he moved the barbecue to the Mayborn, you're there.
Amazing.
What's that
like? Listen, it's incredible. I do not take any of these. A couple times things have come up, and I was telling myself, I don't want to do this. And I stop myself and I remind myself, of how, how amazing this is, to get this call and to get to play in this sandbox, like I so often say, with these people, to get a call from someone like Wolfgang Puck, like, hey, we're doing this and we're bringing it back. We're doing it at the Mayborn, so and so. Before he even says who's participating, I'm like, whatever you need, I'm in. Or Nancy or anything else. It's amazing, it's incredible. And again, you learn from everyone and you get to spend some time, and it's great to see all these people, and we cook all this barbecue.
Yeah.
The first time I did that Hotel Bel Air, that barbecue thing, Francis Mallman was in it. It was quite a lineup. And Nancy and Eric Werner came from Tulum and Hartwood and Tulum. Evan Funky was there. There were a bunch of people. So the first time I went to that, I snuck in. I snuck into that event. It was expensive. It was like $250 to attend.
Yeah.
I snuck into that event. And the following year, I was invited to participate.
Well, yeah. And then you're sneaking me in.
And then I'm sneaking everybody else. And now that I figure where the door is, I'm like, everybody come in.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I got to help carry something.
Yeah.
Bring
everybody. And I'm like, we lost money on this event again.
I know. Well, it's for charity anyway. They're not supposed to be making money. It's like they're not. Okay. Well, we want to save the money for the charity. That's good. Okay. The other funny thing about that is they told me that every time Mallman comes, he just destroys all the grass.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, because he does his big cage and he lights the whole thing on fire, and they just regrass the whole.
Amazing to see them do that
thing. That's where the charity money goes.
Yeah, that's all of it goes to charity.
It's all water and grass.
To redo that.
Yeah, man, you need those pineapples hanging on the drop.
But I got to do this with them a couple times.
Incredible.
I have a bag of caramel in my fridge at home that I got from Francis and his guys. They made this caramel for one of the events, and I got this, and I'm saving it at home. It's a bag of caramel from Francis Mallman, a big bag. I'm saving it for, in case, I don't know, the Pope comes or somebody. It's like, Here's some caramel.
Right.
It's amazing to get to hang out with them and do this thing.
Like that's the real stuff.
That's it. Like what else? It's the highest level.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
When we did the Francis Mallman episode, I got a call that Will Basanta, shout out Will Basanta, one of our original cinematographers on Chef's Table, he gets like I'm like, oh, he's been stopped at the airport. He's like, why? He was returning from South America with 2 giant bags of white powder. It turned out to be salt. He took the salt across the.
I have some of their salt.
Yeah.
I have some of their salt. I stood around. I watched everything that they were doing. I was taking notes of everything. I was taking photos of everything. It was amazing to do it. And then recently I had to build a dome for some people. And
you're doing dome now?
I did a dome for somebody. It was like for the London Times or, like a thing like that.
That's
they
good. They couldn't get Francis, and so
they couldn't get Francis. So the next in line who can do it for them for a fraction.
Where do you get do you have a dome on
hand? It was a total material cost was $100.
You just get some girders
Home Depot. Home Depot. Just got the bars. One of his guys gave me the recipe on how to do it, and we built the dome. And we built the dome. It was amazing, and it worked.
That's great. I love that. I don't know if you know this. We did a barbecue season of Chef's Table.
It was amazing. Yeah, I loved it. Of course, I've seen all of them.
That season came out. I got some of your fans were reaching out to me. 2 of them very loud. Their names are Amalia and Michal.
Oh yeah, great.
They were pretty like, what are you doing? Why is Burt not in this? And why have you betrayed our family, et cetera, et cetera.
So what was the answer?
These are Burt's sisters. I said, I don't know. I don't even know who I am, and I don't know why. And I'm sorry, and I apologize. But if we ever get to go back to the barbecue town, we should have a conversation about who we should shoot.
You had
give me some advice on some people.
You had Rodney. I can't give you advice. Yeah, give you advice.
Help advise me on who.
Rodney's episode was amazing. And I was very happy to see Tootsie in it. What an incredible woman.
Yeah,
that is. And I got to do some things with her and spend some time with her as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really was amazing. Snow's barbecue.
So, question. You're at Slab.
Yeah.
What is the weirdest comment or request you've ever gotten from a guest?
Well, I'll tell you. I had a guy come in and got some barbecue and then told me that the American flag was offensive to him. And asked me to take down the American flag, and that happens, like I don't know what to tell you, like
it's kind of an American food here, Texan food.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. Well, it was a guy who came in, and he came in beforehand. His partner got his American citizenship that day, and they were coming to have an American meal for his first meal as an American citizen. The guy was from Brazil or something. So he came, and and I put like that Lee Greenwood song on the radio. I'm proud to be an American. On the thing, like, I don't know. You're coming to a barbecue joint. Like, what do you want from me? So we have an American flag up there.
Yeah.
And we had a Texas flag. The state of Texas sent me a nice flag for the opening of our place. Yeah, and I had it hanging there.
That's legit.
And when he came, we set them up nice, and they brought things with American flags. That was the thing. They brought all these things with American flags, but he said that the big flag on the wall was offensive to him.
Did you break the flag regulate? Was it about flag code? Maybe you're not displaying the flag properly?
No, definitely that was not the issue. The guy was just did not like that.
It's a little crazy.
Did not like the flag. Yeah, and then I've had a few requests of people coming and asking me to like blowtorch and like sterilize the smokers so they can put like different kinds of meats on it. That's not how it works. We can't do that.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
people come in and give you notes.
People
are very opinionated.
Yeah, listen, and I welcome notes. I welcome the opinions. It's fine. It's fine. But somebody comes in and it's like, oh, Burt, I love the dill in this coleslaw. I'm like, oh, thank you. My mom loves dill. I put dill for her, in this coleslaw. Great. I like it as well. Great. And the person comes right after. It's like, I like everything, but there's dill in the coleslaw. There's too much dill. I'm like, that guy sitting in the corner loves it, wants extra dill. Who do I listen to? What do we do?
You got to listen to your own heart.
Listen to
or your mom.
Heart. Yeah. Or my mom's.
Not about everything.
Not about everything.
Okay. So what is the biggest like smoke? What is the biggest disaster that has happened while you were like, let's say, because you're talking about how it
Yeah,
keeps you up at night. There are things.
yeah,
What is the nightmare of like you had so much meat in the smoker? What happened? What went wrong?
yeah. We when the Super Bowl was in LA, the night before the Super Bowl, every Super Bowl in every city that it's hosted, they have an owners dinner, and that's all the owners of all the teams. They get together for a dinner, and so we were doing the dinner uh, for that event. Our group, our hospitality group, Hwood Group, we were doing the dinner for this event, and my sole job was to cook the final course, which was large tomahawk steaks. There were about 2.5 or so pound steaks, tomahawks, about 150 steaks. That's my job to
And
cook.
each one of these are very expensive.
Each one is very expensive, big boys. Yeah, each one is probably about $150, and I have to do about 150 of them. That's my job. There was a whole courses, desserts, everything. Bert, don't touch anything. Cook the steaks. Great. Coldplay performing, Jay-Z performing, room with Aubrey Orner, billionaires, Martha Stewart is in the room. I have to cook the steaks. So we pre-cooked, we flashed, all these steaks, sear them, give them some color, and then the next day we're just gonna heat them up in the oven, finish them in the oven, and take them out. I start taking out some steaks, and I'm like, this is feeling firm. Now I gotta tell you, if I'm cooking 100 steaks, if I'm maybe one or two, maybe I'll overcook. I don't think so. I'm not gonna overcook any steaks. I'm starting to feel these steaks. They're firm. They're all hard. Firm, like they're all overcooked.
Right. And so and for the listener, like it's supposed to feel, what is Chang says that it's supposed to feel like the meat.
Yeah, like the center between your thumb and pointy.
Because we're going for a medium rare.
Yeah, you're going for medium rare. Absolutely. We're going for medium rare. They are all firm, they're feeling hard, like overcooked. And I didn't overcook them. We took them to like 110 degrees, we took them to 100.
You've done this before.
Yeah, I've done this before. I've done volume.
The temperature is supposed to be.
I've done big volumes all over the place. Strange, firm. I'm taking all these sheet trays out, firm. Like I'm cutting into one, frantic. It's gray, completely gray. I'm like, what is happening? And I'm starting to freak out. And one of the cooks says, like, yeah, I don't know why they asked me to salt all the steaks 2 days ago. So what are you talking about? Who asked you to salt all the steaks? And so it turns out, I don't know who or what. My mom she's convinced it was some kind of a sabotage thing. They salted all the steaks, so they cured them all and just sucked the life out of them, salted the life out of them. So they're all overcooked.
So the salt pulls all the moisture out and essentially cooks them.
Yes. So now I have all these firm, hard steaks. I went to the organizer, the producer of the event. By chance, she walked by me, and I was telling her what's happening. And she slowly, at the end of the day, in short, she slowly started to dim the lights in the room more and more. Not quick, but slowly. We dimmed the lights down.
So you told her what happened, and she had a plan.
Yes.
What did she do?
She started to dim down the lights so the color of the steak won't be as evident. We sauced the hell out of it, covered it with sauce, and all I was doing was standing on the side watching Martha Stewart, how she's gonna eat. That's all I cared about was Martha Stewart eating it, and nobody didn't seem like anybody. I never heard anything. Nothing came up. I saw her eating. They're eating. She didn't make any faces. I was like, oh my god. I thought she was gonna make that face. And Martha ate it, and it was fine. That was a crazy story. And then one time we did a barbecue thing. Snake River Farms invites me. They say, listen, we're doing this thing at David Beckham's house. You got to come. You got to cook the steaks. They're gonna have things. We need you to cook the steak. And like, okay, let's. I'm there. I got to get a picture with him. It's gonna be amazing. Love it. And I cook these steaks. I come to cook these steaks, these Snake River Farm steaks. Beautiful beef. It's not a commercial for them, but this is gorgeous
Yeah.
American Wagyu beef, beautiful. And I get to the house where they're hosting it in Beverly Hills, and the housekeeper, whoever was there, like, okay, where's the beef, the steaks? She's like, oh, it's right here. She takes me down to this car museum room downstairs with all these cars, and they have these commercial grade refrigerators, and she has a bunch of meat in there. It was just regular USDA beef from Costco. There's no Snake River, nothing. It was just literally Costco beef with the sticker, with the sticker, I mean, this is what I got. This is what I got. She's like, yeah, I don't know. This is what they have. Like, oh my God. Okay. So I cut it up. I cut up the best steaks out of that thing. I cut up the best steaks, and I cooked the steak. It came out incredible. Let me tell you, it came out amazing. David comes by. Snake River people, they come by. I cut them the best part from the cap. It was nice. Let me tell you, it was gorgeous. Coast to coast color, beautiful, gorgeous. I give it to them. David's like, oh, this is incredible. This is incredible. And the Snake River guy eats it, looks at David. Snake River, the best. The best.
The best.
It was from Costco. It was from Costco. And as he says it, you start hearing this girl. So there's another girl that was eating it, and she took a lot. She started to eat a lot, and she started choking. And then someone had to do Heimlich on her, called an ambulance. She almost died, choked on this big piece of meat. It was unbelievable. All of this was happening simultaneously. David's like, wow, this steak is incredible. This one's almost dead. It was, it was unbelievable. And then so everybody was very happy. And at the end of the day, the night, I was picking up my things. The fridge next to it had all the Snake River.
There's another fridge.
There was another fridge. So I didn't even think to check the other fridge. So because had the beef, it looked exactly like what we were talking about. So I took that beef home, and it was so funny.
They never knew you did.
Never knew. They never knew. Nobody ever knew.
Oh man, tell me what is like the lesson that you learned from this NFL thing with the lights dimming and the sauce and everything? Like,
barbecue again. Like, it's something that I've said in our restaurants, and I said it's like a relay. It's like a relay run. So when Usain Bolt is running 100 or 200, it's all on him. When I was doing Trudy's, it was all me. I was picking up the meat. I was processing, trimming, seasoning, smoking, wrapping, slicing. Everything was me. When you go into a restaurant and when you go into an event like this, now it's a relay run. So now you have to rely on everybody's ability of passing that baton and what they're doing with themselves and their time with that baton. So one person, you can have the fastest runners in the world, but if one person is slow or one person drops the baton, it all goes down the hill. And that may be the person that's trimming, that may be the person that's cooking, and that may be the guy that comes to your table and asks you if you want more water. And if they do it the wrong way, if something's done the wrong way, the whole thing falls apart. So team is communication, leadership, being on top of it, finding people that care. All those things come into play, and it doesn't take much for the whole deck of cards, the whole tower, to fall apart.
Yep.
So and that's that. Yeah. So I like doing it by myself. I like when I'm in my backyard, it's a lot of work, but if it's good, it's on me. If it's bad, it's on me. But I have total control over it. And it's great. And that's why Tootsie is doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's doing it all.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's got a couple others there, but it's all Tootsie.
Yep.
So that's that. And you're only as good as your last brisket.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
It's not the
I
first
like
time
that Burt is only as good as his last brisket. Okay. That woman who dimmed the lights,
Yeah.
kind of genius. Is that her idea?
Or
whatever.
I don't remember.
Regardless.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Do you remember who she was?
No.
Okay, but regardless, the idea of changing the lighting so people don't
dimming
see,
the lights slowly.
It's very
slowly.
clever.
Wasn't quick.
I
It
like
wasn't
that.
noticeable, but it was slowly. She dimmed them down a little bit. We sauced it up. I added some sauce. Also, I sliced. So the steak, instead of having, 10 slices, it had like 18 slices. You know,
Oh yeah,
slicing also
you
much
go
thinner.
thinner. Yeah, yeah, of
I
course.
went much thinner, went thinner, covered it up. We put some greens that weren't in the plan to put on top, covered it up. So there were distractions.
Did you talk to Martha Stewart?
No,
Have you
no.
ever spoken to her?
Yeah, I saw her in Vegas leaving a bathroom of Wingley, and I wanted to bring it up, but I got a picture with her. It's my favorite.
Okay. What is in your fridge right now?
Oh man, my wife's not happy about these things, but in my fridge right now, I have multiple containers of hummus. Of course, I'm making hummus all the time. It's my new craze. It's not really new, but I make it all the time.
Daily hummus.
Daily hummus. Should have brought some. Daily hummus. I have a lot of ferments, different things fermented. I have a collection of fats. So roasted lamb neck fat and duck fat and different kinds of Spanish ham fat from the legs, the cinco jota and other kinds, different fats that I use. I have a lot of tare, the dipping sauce for like yakitori. I have one that's from 1961 origins, so it's
Oh,
a
wow.
60-year-old tare that I have. I have different like marmalades of and jams that I make. So half of our fridge is almost always occupied. Koji water and amba and different things like to build flavors, but a lot of different kinds of fat. That you want to make some eggs, use this kind of fat.
Yeah.
Sandwiches, make a barbecue sauce for beans. A lot of different things like that. A lot of misos.
And you
Different.
collect this stuff from.
I collect it. I make it. I don't want things to go to waste. We do a giant party for, an Oscar party, let's say, and the bar will end up with sacks of chilies. Instead of throwing it away, I'll make a hot sauce out of it, and then the pulp and everything that stays, I'll make a different kind of paste with that. Everything will go into use. So I have a lot of dated deli cups and jars and containers in my fridge. A lot of frozen bones and for stocks, and you know, as minimal of waste as possible. And it's great because my kids are very familiar with it, and they eat it and they try it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's nice. A lot of cheese. Love good cheese. The Beverly Hills cheese store, incredible place.
Yeah.
A lot of cheese. Yeah, a lot of fats.
Yeah. You have 3 daughters.
I have 3 daughters, one in college, one in high school, one in elementary school, and they're great eaters. Unfortunately for me, they love caviar, which is terrible, but
Financially speaking.
financially speaking. But I have a good hookup on caviar, so I get other people some caviar. Usually, I end up with some caviar. We went to our friend, Benny and Selena's wedding. They had a bunch of caviar there. I took a bunch of caviar. People take home those table settings, the bouquets of flowers. They take some of the cake. I
Just
took
tins,
I took
extra
I,
tins
I
of
took I
caviar.
took kilos.
Oh, that's where those tins come from on your
Yeah, I
Instagram.
took kilos
Okay,
of
good.
caviar,
Holy
kilos, and then I broke it down into like little plastic deli containers, froze that. My girls can sit there and crack open caviar. Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
As long as I don't pay for it, knock yourself out.
What is okay, so what chefs are, because I know you not only, you like to cook, but also
Yeah.
you're a big eater. You love going to restaurants.
I
Like,
do.
who should we be talking? Like, who are we talking about now these days? Who are you interested in, chef wise?
It's a good question. I love Ori Menashe from Safis and Bavel and Bestia is someone I admire so much.
Yeah.
His operations, his food, his leadership is amazing. I always refer to him as the king of LA. He's amazing. But there's a lot of great, young guys. There's this guy Diego who had this poltergeist. He had this thing. Him and his crew would be on the line. All of them are on mushrooms or on acid, and they're cooking. And he's doing frog legs at Coachella, and he's doing all these things. So interesting guy. He's great. LA is so rich, that with diversity and different people. You have to, because you can speak to so many people, and they can so many people, chefs or not, will bring up the same usual suspects, the Wolfgang, the Nancy, Evan Funky, whatever. But the truth is, there's so many incredible chefs, so much incredible talent that we've never heard of, that we don't know, and that we unfortunately may never know. Who
Yeah.
just they don't use Instagram. In many cases, they never even heard of Instagram,
Yeah, and we don't necessarily have like that Jonathan Gold today
and we don't have that
that has
Jonathan
that
Gold.
passion, who's going everywhere.
We don't, and he's sorely missed, because now we live in a time where everyone's a critic, everyone's a food critic, and Jonathan Gold, when he visited a restaurant that he did not enjoy, I don't want to say like or not, but a restaurant that he did not enjoy, he wouldn't write about it and put it down. He wouldn't put it down. He would focus on something good, you know. And now people are getting some kind of joy out of kicking places when they're down, or putting it down. Like, oh, I went and this wasn't this wasn't that. When themselves, they can't cook broccoli.
Yeah, well, sometimes I see an Instagram, and I guess they get engagement because people
Yeah,
get
yeah.
so they're unfortunately, like, the algorithm encourages people to trash things. But I think the entire every single review is only bad.
It sucks. It's
Only
not. It's
bad
not. It's not.
reviews,
It's not
and
nice.
it's not a good way to use that
I don't.
power.
I don't like that. I don't
Mm-mm.
like that. But it sells. It gets in their engagement. Who are they for whether this person is an accountant and whatever else, to go and say, oh, this place sucks. This place is good. I understand you're paying good money. But also many people, they go into a restaurant. They don't go in and just enjoy it. I see it firsthand. I go with friends of mine. I go with other people. They don't just sit and enjoy their company and enjoy what they're eating. They'll start to analyze, like, you know what? I came here. I had a slight headache. I mean, I still have the headache, or this is not doing this. This is not doing that. Be present. Enjoy your food. There's so much. And listen, you go to, again, to some of these places, families that are from some random town in a random country, that are coming here, are cooking the food that they grew up on eating, and they have great stories. There's so many great stories out there, and it's beautiful. Uh, Only for some schmo, to come and say, "Oh, this sucks," and
Mm-hmm.
everyone's a critic,
Yeah.
and just doesn't help.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. You're in a street fight. What is you're gonna grab one thing from your kitchen for the fight. What is your weapon of choice?
Oh man, you know what? I was recently in Istanbul, and I got this big, like, crazy blade knife, and I've been bringing it with me. And then when I got that blade, it's the blade they used to mince meat. And I got that blade. I said to myself, the first event I'm doing is I'm going to make this Adana kebab, which was very common in Turkey. And I ended up doing it at that Mayborn event with Wolfgang, and they were so excited. He was so happy to see that, because they have a spago in Istanbul, and he knows that kebab very well. And we made that kebab, and we wrapped it with lamb caul fat. It was so good. And but it's such a it's such a funny thing, like, to carry. I put it in my suitcase. I can't believe I made it through. And um, I would probably grab that. I'd probably
What's a non-blade item?
a non-blade item. That I would grab in a fight. I would have to grab my blowtorch, I guess. You got a torch, you got to brulee things. I use it a lot more often than you would imagine. With marshmallows that we make at home, that my kids love making, and everything else, and little fish, and yeah, maybe a blowtorch.
Mm. So why do you cook? Like, what's the point?
I cook. I cook really, even before I'm cooking, one of my favorite things to do is to clean my kitchen. You go into a kitchen, and then when I say clean kitchen, it wouldn't be necessarily defined as a clean kitchen for most people, but when my kitchen's clean, it's amazing. And then you cook because I cook things most of the times that remind me of experiences. And then when I get to cook those things, it takes me back to that experience. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be Robuchon. It doesn't have to be anything, Um, it could be a piece of white bread with mayonnaise. I say it all the time, it could be something so simple, but if there's a story behind it and there's a reason behind it and some sort of a meaning, then even that can make you feel a certain way. And then you can take that to whoever you're sharing this with and tell them about that experience of you guys being in an alley in Brooklyn, and Billy Durney comes out as a joke and brings you a piece of white bread with mayonnaise on it when you tell him you're hungry, and you eat it and you're hungry and it's so good, and you realize it's a mayonnaise that he made and it had some beef fat in it, and it was so good. And at the end of the day, it was just white bread, mayonnaise, and you try to recreate it, and that's how I do it. And so many times we'll make something, and I'll tell my kids or whoever it is, I'm like, man, I was in Turkey, I was in Miami, I was in whatever, the White House, in the back of the White House, cooking this thing, and this guy came and he was from Bangladesh and he had these spices and he gave us the spices and we made this and we made a whole new dish and this is what we made and it totally worked out and everybody was happy. you know, and it's relaxing. And also, I guess while I'm in the kitchen, I don't have to change any diapers, and I don't have to, I don't have to deal with the kids running around, listen to some music, play in the backyard. I mean, play, with whatever I'm using, and eat some food.
How does it feel when you serve a dinner to your kids and they like it?
My kids are true critics, like you would expect from most kids. They like most of the things. They like most of the things. I like to push them. I like to push them sometimes. Like, what is that? I'm like, that's herring. And they're like, oh my god. And then most of the times they like it. They're eaters. Thank God they have a palate. And when they enjoy it, listen, it's great. Because then, especially my little one will eat something and she'll say, oh my God, this is so good. I want it at least once a week, at least twice a week. She just went to some restaurant. She discovered chicken piccata. So now she's asking for chicken piccata all the time. But for them as well, it's like they have some foods that remind them of an experience. And then they as well want to revisit that experience. It's food is like time travel, and if you have recipes, if you're fortunate enough to have recipes of your mom or dad or grandparents or great grandparents, that's the best, because then you can always reconnect with them, revisit them, and spend some time with them, on a plate, so it's amazing what food can do. And I think that if more people focused on that, and having that love for food that so many people have in common, could be a better place.
Love it. Thank you. Crushed it.